grounded. Spread a little aloha around the world at breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Poncho Man. Welcome back, everybody. Breakfast with Bob, our World Championship edition from Nice. Again, my name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Fly Human Fly, Master Spas, Precision Fuel and Hydration, Deboer Wetsuits, Outrigger Kona Resort and Spa, stay longer, save more. And of course, our Challenge Athletes Foundation, our next guest, three-time Challenge Roth Champion, taken silver and bronze at the last two Ironman World Championships, getting ready for Nice. Mr. Magnus Ditlev joins us. Magnus, how you doing, bud?
Very good. Thank you, Bob, and thanks for having me. It feels a little weird to do this interview sitting at home, actually. So usually
Yes.
we chat at our awesome places, but it's also pretty nice to be able to stay home that late until the race.
Yeah, I mean that's what's nice about the race being in Nice. You don't really have to travel. Stay at home, go to the mountains when you need to, and then go over there. When will you head over to Nice? Like Monday or something?
Yeah, actually Monday. So I have been multiple times on the course this year already and have done the recons there. So I feel I know every bit of and every corner on the course already. So then we'll just head in there a little late. Sometimes I feel if you stay, for instance, if you arrive in Kona like 3 weeks before, and the only thing you do is train on the course, it can get a little bit,
Dale.
excitement goes away a little bit. So I hope that now that I have done the recon throughout the year and been there multiple times, and then drops into Nice quite late, the excitement will just be there the entire week, and I'll be completely hyped up when I arrive.
Well, and the fact that you took third there 2 years ago at the World Championship, obviously that gives you confidence going in there. And the fact that you get able to get a third there and then a second in Kona, just the fact that those are such different courses and having success at both, it just shows you how versatile you are. And what did you learn from racing it 2 years ago that you carry into this year?
I think I'm a completely different athlete actually right now than I was 2 years ago. Uh, I was never a bike rider growing up and started riding really late. And I think in the first few years of my career, you could really see that on the technical side of things when I was the bike handling. And so in 23, I would say I ended up becoming pretty good because I practiced a lot on the downhills, but the downhills was something that really I had to prepare for a lot, and something I thought I might maybe lose a bit of time coming there in 23 because I never grew up cycling and never really did any like mountain
Mhm.
going on camps much when I was a young kid and so on. So now I've really since then just practiced and done a bunch of technical gravel riding and gone to Nice multiple times. And now I actually feel like, the descent is a place where I might be able to, gain sometimes. So
Uh-huh.
the times I've been sitting on some of the descents are at least quite a bit faster than when I was there in 23. So I think I'm a completely different athlete now. What I took away, back to your question, the main
Yeah.
thing from the bike course was how difficult it is that you're going uphill almost the first 2 hours pretty much, and then you think, now I can relax, but then there is actually quite a flat part for 60 kilometers.
Yeah.
And I think in 23, that was really where Sam took a lot of time on everyone else. Is I managed to he still took a little bit of time on the main climb, but it was really when we got to the plateau on the flat part of the course where he was kind of able to stay on the gas, whereas I and pretty much also everyone else were a bit tired after the having done the climbing for the first part of the course. So I think that was my main takeaway: how much time you can lose on the last back part of the course if you are not pacing it well.
Well, and it's interesting because I remember when we were chatting back then before Nice, the concern was, well, you're a big guy, and can a big guy do well on this course? Well, I think Sam showed that he's a big guy, and he
Yeah.
obviously did really well on that course. Because you think about it, if you descend well with the how hairy those descents are, you can pick up a lot of ground, and being a big guy is really a benefit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. On the sense, it's a benefit. I still think probably being a little bit lighter would suit or would be ideal, but it's not. Yeah, you can't really change your your physiology. So
Yes, very cool. So when I look at this year, the eighth in Frankfurt, when you look at everything you went through there, you had a great 49-minute swim and a 3:59 bike and a 2:47, 7:42, amazing day with that whole red card thing hanging over you, not knowing if this is going to count or not. And I flashed back to Kona when you got a penalty there, when you basically time trialed your way up to the pack and got a penalty. Just keeping it together mentally when you're dealing with something like that, how hard was that in Frankfurt?
yeah, it was that was a very chaotic situation, and
Yeah.
it was basically it was at the most tense point of the race. I was running with the two Norwegians like 30, 40 seconds back, and I was holding them pretty well. So it was I was just on the thin line of yeah, really when you are the most under pressure, and then that situation happens. So it really threw me kind of derailed a lot. And then there was the uncertainty because I was told I was allowed to run, and then they were discussing some things. So I really didn't know for maybe 40 minutes if I would be disqualified or not. So it was very tough, and it's also I didn't feel very good during the entire race actually. So on the bike, I felt extremely weak, and yeah. So when you are already having quite a difficult day, and then stuff like that comes up,
Oh my God.
it's quite difficult to handle. And I think that in the end, I managed to yeah salvage a decent result, but it was definitely not what I was hoping for.
Right. I like the fact that you've been very selective in racing this year, that you won South Africa, you went to St. George, got a 70.3, you did, and did Frankfurt. And
Yeah.
that was the season.
Yeah.
Now, the season has been about Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's a little bit difficult or different situation going into the World Championship this year than I've done the past 3 years, because the past 3 years I've come from basically yeah, winning Roth and setting world records the past 2 years, and
Yep.
been on this high and everything that comes with that, both good and bad. And it's so it was actually on purpose this year that we wanted to not race Roth, even though it was an extremely difficult decision, and it's a race that I would have loved to do. But the main priority was the World Championships. So we decided not to do that and to really focus on few races, with this race being the biggest priority of the year, and kind of see if we could build the shape throughout the year, and not kind of the past 3 years I've really peaked in Roth, and after that the period has been, even though I've done well at the World Championships, it's been like I could feel it mentally a little bit coming to the World Championships, that you've already won probably the if not the biggest, then the second biggest race on the calendar. So
Mm.
you're kind of already not satisfied with your season, but you already have this huge highlight. So this year we wanted to really narrow the focus, and hopefully that will pay off in Nice.
Again, when I was looking back at the Frankfurt race, and I just look at the field and just how amazing it was with everybody who was there. Like, and off the bike, you were Christian Hogenhog was off the front, and you were like 8:48 back, and Casper was 8:57, Cam Worth 8:58, Rudy, Gustav, Christian, everybody with Patrick Lange.
It was basically the Nice field without Sam Laidlow. So
Exactly, exactly. And it's
yeah,
funny when you look at the last two World Championships, it was you last year. It was you got second and Rudy got third. And the year before, Patrick the year before Sam's there and Sam wins and you get Patrick gets second, you get third, and Rudy gets fourth. So the only
uh,
thing that changed was Sam 2 years ago.
actually also with Leon, he was I think fifth in 23 and then
Yes.
fourth last year. So yeah, I think it shows that the best, the top level athletes, they are able to prepare and set themselves up for yeah, very different courses, and I think that's a skill that separates yeah, the top athletes. So it of course some courses suit athletes better, but the top really knows how to prepare specifically for each event.
It's funny because I was looking at Leon's stuff, and he has a lot of races where he's sixth and seventh and things like that. But you look at the World Championships, St. George he was sixth, and then Nice he was fifth, and then actually he was sixth and seventh in 2022 at Kona and St. George. Then he's fifth in Nice, and then fourth in Kona. So he really steps up for World Championships. He really focuses on those. And that's
Mm.
not a bad way to look at your season. You want to show the focus. Will you also look at 70.3 worlds, or is that not something in the schedule for this year?
It really depends on how the
On
race
these goes.
goes. Unfortunately, since yeah, my season started off really well in South Africa, winning
Yes.
a Pro Series race there. So the plan was to do the Pro Series, but not kind of chase it if something goes wrong. And then things got really wrong in St. George, where I had two flat tires and the Frankfurt episode. So the Pro Series is kind of out of the
Out the
out of
window.
the window. So yeah, I think 70.3 worlds would be nice to do, but it really depends on how this race goes. I think if you do well, you probably have to enjoy it and take a step back and yeah,
The
reflect.
the Pro Series, I mean, obviously it's nice, but the positive of that is that you haven't been chasing the Pro Series
Yeah.
after St. George, so you were able to focus specifically on these. What would it mean to you, Magnus, to you've been second, you've been third at World Championship to win a World Championship?
Yeah, it would mean it's basically I feel like yeah, for me it's the race that motivates me the most and the race that has yeah, the biggest history in the sport, and it would just be so special. It's what I've been chasing. I can't say that it's what I've been chasing my entire life because I got into triathlon quite late and also professional triathlon quite late, but it's definitely the past, yeah, 3 years. It's what has been on my mind almost every day. So it would be some, yeah, a crazy, crazy thing to do, and it's quite, yeah, gets me goosebumps just thinking of it because it's, yeah, would be so amazing.
When you look back, I mean, we got to chat with you and when we were in Daytona and when you were just sort of getting started and putting your name out there, people didn't know who you were, and just watching how you've flourished as a professional athlete and become one of the best and a great spokesperson for the sport. When you look back, like you said, you got into the sport late, and here you get into this sport that you really didn't know that much about when you got into it, and now you're at the top end. You're one of the top three, four guys in the world.
Uh,
Have you surprised yourself through all this?
yeah, definitely. I never, I never thought I had any endurance talent or yeah, potential at all. I was never in school. You can kind of see like when you are having gymnastic classes and so on, you can kind of see who has a flair, for instance, for running and for athletics in general. And I was never any of those guys. I was always the slowest. And in football, I didn't run very well. And So it's come as a very big surprise, and yeah, that it's quite crazy to think of the journey I have been through the past. It's starting to become many years. I feel like I just got into the sport, but I must admit it's it's not it's not completely new anymore. But it's still yeah, I'm seeing progress on a not a daily basis, but yeah, on a yearly basis, we can see stuff is improving, and it's crazy to think of something sometimes when you feel like you are a little bit stuck, and you can
Yes.
just think back on where you came from.
When I got a chance to talk to Christian Gustav and Casper yesterday, and they were talking about sweep. It'd be great to go to Nice and finish first, second, and third, and win the
It
whole
would
thing.
be
But
great to go to Nice as well and do a Danish sweep.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I mean,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
talk a lot about Norwegians, but we have a lot of amazing Danish athletes out there
yeah.
who
I
can
think
certainly.
we four Danish athletes, me, Matthias Høgenhaug, and Daniel.
Daniel,
Yeah.
Daniel Bakkegaard. Yeah. I mean, would not be a shock to have you guys dominate the top three, top five.
No,
Uh,
it would be awesome.
and do you guys train much together? Do you train much with the other guys?
No, not really. So Daniel has moved to Switzerland and is
Mm,
training in St. Moritz. And Matthias is living in a different place, like 1.5 hours away. And Christian is living in a third place. Even though Denmark is quite small, it would be difficult to kind of, it would require a lot of travel, like sitting in the car and so on,
sure.
but sometimes we are on like there is, for instance, every January there is a Danish National Federation team training camp. So we go on 2 weeks of training camp on the Canary Islands together, and that's always very fun to yeah, when you don't, of course, we are good friends, but we don't
Right.
see each other on a daily basis. So it's quite nice to be able to go on a camp with them and hear what they are doing and what they have been up to and how they are approaching training and everything. So yeah.
So when you look back at your career, and it's funny because the career in the past when we've chatted, the career wasn't that much to look back on because it was pretty short. Now you've got a lot of races to look back on. What do you look at as the race that let you know that you could be one of the best?
Uh, Probably. mm, my first pro win it was 70.3 in Gdynia,
Yeah,
where it was basically in 2020 one of the first races that was available after lockdown. And if you remember back then, it was because everyone had been training for so yeah, just a year basically
yeah,
without any breaks at all. And then once the events opened up, it was like every race had such a stacked field because everyone just wanted to race. So
yes,
I lined up in what is actually a quite small 70.3 in Poland, but because it was one of the first open events, it had like Patrick Lange and Florian Angert and a really strong field. And yeah, I managed to win that one after breaking away on the bike, and everyone accused me of getting motor paced by the lead vehicle on the bike, which I probably did get a draft, but I think yeah, that was hopefully people have learned that I'm a decent bike rider still.
decent.
But
Yeah,
that was definitely remember beating Patrick and standing with him on the podium. He asked me, "Who the hell are you?" Because I just came out of nowhere and I had no sponsors on my kit and anything. So that was the race where I thought, okay, I might actually be able to do something here. But still, yeah, I wasn't. It was really the bike at that race that made me win the race. So there was still a lot of room for improvement.
when you mentioned that you didn't feel good on the bike in Frankfurt and you still went under 4 hours. That always surprises me. It says, I was having a crap day on the bike and I went 3:59:05. I,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
It's just
from the outside. From the outside, it looks like you're hammering. It looks like everything's going well, but internally, something's going on.
yeah, yeah, and also with the group dynamics and
Yeah.
multiple people taking turns, and with the aerodynamics everyone has at the moment on a fast course, then you can go extremely quick without really pedaling much.
Yes.
But you won't be able to do that on next Sunday, and that's what I really enjoy about the Nice course here, is that no one will get a free ride on the bike, and if they do, they are definitely not going to be in contention for the win after the bike.
It's about as pure a race as you can have,
Yeah,
right? And then you get to run with crowds the whole time.
yeah.
Multiple. Do you like that, or do you enjoy sort of the solitude of getting out in the lava field and just being alone with your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm actually also in both in Kona, as you say, but also in Roth. You have that
Right.
the channel part where you are basically running the first half marathon without a single spectator, just in your own mind, and that's quite special and something I'm. It's actually quite nice to be able to get into your own rhythm and your own mind, but then again, the crowds in Nice, and yeah, it's gonna be. It can't be. It's not a disadvantage for sure. It's only something that can cheer you up, and something. Yeah, I'm having, because the race is so close. It's just a 1.5 hour flight from Copenhagen. Then uh, I have so many people, friends, family, and everyone on my team is coming there. So I think, especially on the bike course, is a little bit difficult to spectate on here. But for the run course, I think it's going to be very special with people I know standing all over the course.
I love it. And Magnus, I'd like nothing better than to see you on the top of the podium. You've gotten third at a world championship. You've gotten second at a world championship. I think it's time. It's time to be on the top
Yeah,
step.
I hope so.
I love it. Magnus, thank you so much for taking time. Loves your journey. Love what you've brought to our sport. Thank you for being such a great ambassador for triathlon.
Thank you, and thanks for having me and for all the great work you do as well.
Thank you. Magnus Ditlev has been our guest, everybody. Hold on. We will be right back.